Hi everyone, I've just done the Stõk Racecourse Ground tour, second one ever, second official one ever as far as I can remember, unless we did them back in the day. I don't think we did. Anyway, this is kind of being run as a test event for the next 3 weeks, I think. And yeah, on the whole, enjoyable. I'm going to give it a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10. So obviously watch the video after my little spiel here to give you an idea of what it was all about. But Kingsley Evans has been heavily involved in the club for many, many years. Husband of Kerry, the DLO. He was the tour guide, very knowledgeable, very affable, very likable guy, engaged with the group. The group was around 16 people, which they're trying to keep it around that. I think any more probably would have been difficult because the footprint of some of the areas underneath the stands can be quite narrow. So I think 16 is probably about right, especially when you get to visit the changing rooms as well. And it felt a bit more bespoke as well when there's less of you. So it was kind of a nice touch, and it's probably capped off at the right amount. The tour itself, you meet the Centenary Club, get signed in, get given a little lanyard, and Kings gives us a bit of an introduction as to the ground and what to expect and where we're going to go. So yeah, take us into the Wrexham Lager stand, a bit of a wander around there, up into the top tier of that stand, down into the dugouts, pitch side, so you have some pictures in the dugout and so on and so forth. Pitch looks amazing, by the way. Charlie's done an amazing job, really, really good. Speaking of Charlie, him, you and the kit man and Gemma Owen, who heads up the women's football, were in the stand a little bit later on, so just had a quick chat with those guys. Yeah, so nice to see them. Went across the sort of tech end. What's that stand called now? Whatever it's called, I forgot. As I just know it as the tech end, really, but there we are. Went along there, a bit of an insight into which stand holds what number of seats, how long the stands have been up for. Can you believe the Wrexham Lager stand next year will have been up for 50 years? I think you said 50 years. Yeah, that's right. 74. 84, 94, 2004. Yeah, 50 years. There you go. My maths isn't strong at this point of the day. 5:25. So the tour was about an hour and 15, I want to say. Thereabouts, I think, around that. Unhurried. Like I said, King's very knowledgeable, give us an oversight into what was what. Touched on some stuff with games, famous games and so on. Went into the underbelly of the Mill Road stand. There's a little sensory room in the corner that's still not finished yet, so we couldn't take pictures in there. Went into the changing rooms, the home and the away changing rooms. Home changing rooms got some match worn shirts up, so you can have your picture taken to them with them. There's boots dotted around everywhere. Went into the gym, couldn't take pictures in the gym, understandably, because there was personalised workout programs for all the players splashed all over the walls. And yeah, then went back down and then through sort of just towards the exit. Really, it was a fairly before that, I should say, is you go into the away changing rooms, which is doubling up as the trophy room at the moment. So you get your picture taken with National League trophy, the women's trophies there as well, and the under 19s, I think, that won their trophy as well. So there's 3 on a bit of a plinth, have your picture taken. So yeah, overall, for a tester event, it's a good start. It's a strong start to the organised stadium tours. Any criticisms? We weren't allowed into the Aviation Gin Suite, or I think it's now the Betty Buzz Suite. It's been rebranded. That's kind of off limits. That's where obviously Rob and Ryan and their associated family, friends and guests go. I can kind of understand it, but then with the group only being restricted to 16, I don't see how it would be a massive issue in going in there. Nobody's here to wreck anything. We're here just to take pictures. We've seen the inner workings of that suite anyway, and when the cameras have been in there, and you know, sponsors have been in there from time to time. I think sponsors still do get the chance to go in there as well. So that was, yeah, it was a little bit disappointing that we weren't allowed in there. Same for the exec boxes. Didn't really go in there unless you've sponsored a game or you've ate here. Didn't really go into that aspect of the stand. Same with where they have the restaurant and stuff now up there. So there was a few places off limits. There are more trophies in that ground. I know it. I haven't seen it from years gone by. A lot of historical artifacts that have really sort of been missed out of this tour. But then, you know, if you include everything, maybe it gets a bit longer. Maybe you can justify a higher price, like £10 for adults, £5 for juniors. Pretty reasonably priced, I'd say. Yeah, what else? Yeah, that was the main bugbear in terms of not being able to go up there. But yeah, on the whole, enjoyable. It was nice to see it from a different point of view, really. And yeah, it's one of those that's going to be built on. That they're definitely going to expand on it, no doubt. They may have a different range of tour guests. You can't expect tour guides. You can't expect Kingsley to do them all. They may introduce ex-players. I don't know how they're going to verse it. But yeah, it was good. It was nice to see it from a different point of view. Like I said, I think there's probably other areas that maybe could and should be opened up. I found a little book belonging to somebody that might have just been left behind by accident. I don't think there's any trade secrets in there as such. It certainly wasn't Phil Parkinson's. So I handed that into Kings, who passed it on to somebody. And yeah, maybe it's one of those. I mean, I was half expecting to be kind of like chaperone. You know, when you go to like the zoo or something, at the end of the tour, you end up in the gift shop because, you know, captive audience. I was expecting that. Oh, and we'll finish off the tour in the club shop. There was none of that, which is kind of nice. So you can kind of escape back to your car however you've got here, or you can then take the opportunity to go into the club shop. However, I'm not sure if it was open at the end of that tour, because some of the staff were going home, so I'm not sure if it was open then. Maybe that's something that they can consider, especially for the 4 o'clock tour. They might want to keep that open for people who want to buy after the tour, or maybe for those on the 4 o'clock tour, make them aware that the club will be shut at this time. So if you are planning on getting stuff, get it beforehand. Kings knows where everybody's from beforehand, has a look at where people are from. He said the previous tour had somebody from Australia as well, so there was a few people from all over the place. Chucked in a couple of suggestions, like, you know, maybe have like a world map with some magnets, so when people are coming from Thailand or Australia or USA, Canada, can come and stick a magnet and go, right, this is where we're from, and then it gives subsequent visitors in future an idea of who's come from where, and sort of global, gives a clearer illustration of the global reach of the club. But yeah, like I said, I keep saying overall, I'm waffling a bit, apologies, but it was enjoyable. For tenner, not bad at all, and I think it will go from strength to strength, hopefully. I think most of them are sold out. Well, this week's have been sold out. I'm not sure about next week's, but as a tester event, it's a strong start. So let's see where they go with it. Also, I forgot to add, at the moment, there is nothing really in terms of assisting disabled fans. So, you know, I think they're limited in the amount of lifts and things they have here. So there's a lot of steps involved. So that's something that they need to kind of factor into if they do have people who are wheelchair bound and so on and so forth. A couple of other things which I forgot to mention in the first video just put is, would it be nice to maybe have an option to be involved in like a press conference vibe, you know, sit behind a desk or something like that, get a feel for that, and maybe go into Phil Parkinson's office, which was closed. Yeah, but like I said, you know, lots of positives and just a few little things to feed back on.
So you've got that.
Right, this is the Wrexham AFC stand. The older fans will know it by different names. At the end of the day, we all have a sponsor in our head. Since it's been made, you go, this is X stand, because that's what you know it as. It's currently sponsored by Wrexham Lager, so that's what.
I just didn't know so far. Okay. No, this is the best. I say over there.
You're looking pretty much at the centre of the pitch here, and that's why the director's box is here, because obviously they have the best. This is his domain right here with his assistant Steve Barkin. He's very loud and very intimidating, even though he's a really nice guy to talk to. If you want any pictures in the seats, please feel free, take some pictures, whatever you want, or with the stand in the back. Just see over to the far side, by that goal there, you can see the lights on the sunlight.
You want one there?
One thing we're ahead of the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's remarkable you can get in the floodlights. Madness. No, I don't think I'm trying to get in there, to be honest. Wheelchair accessible platform which was put in 2015 to give fans the choice to watch games from height instead of being on the front row here, because it's a completely different place to look for. Up there you will see spaces in the game where players are running completely different to what you see on. Now, this is the concourse of the restaurant stand. You've got your food.
You move into the cocktail.
You know, Mum's friend Sue. Mum's friend Sue, when she comes with her little boy Henry, to see he's 3 days older than you when they come. They sit in this section. You tell Henry. That's Henry's baptism.
Right, when I said earlier, so this is the Kitman Ewan, this is Gemma, and this guy.
Yeah, just tell that there's no way I can do that later on. Do apologise.
It's not a big room, you can pop your head in and have a look, no problem. This is the whole dressing room. All I will say is. Well, the shirt again, so where's it? Oh, right, is he not for the
Yeah, definitely fresh air, isn't
Right, you're more than welcome to take pictures with the shirts. They are last season shirts because they haven't got the new ones in.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a bit mad. All of the cricket club.
Personal whiteboard.
Should come on. Yeah, there we go. Right. Now, I've been specifically told, it seems to be a common theme that if you win a trophy, you're only the captain, I suppose, or whatever, but somebody seems to take it home and end up sleeping with it. I don't know who did with this one, but one of our players has just been promoted to the Premier League. And for years they were in the Championship, down to League One, League Two. I don't know how they're going to get on in the Premier League, but thank you very much. Oh, thank you.